Welcome back, soapsters, and in today's tutorial we're going to look at the One Pot Wonder Swirl. Now this is a really quick, really easy technique to get to grips with. It works pretty much up to a medium trace, although I have done this at a really kind of light trace just because I wanted some really nice swirls going through it. So the great thing about this is it can be as many colours or as few colours as you want. I'm going with a kind of beachy theme. I've seen some soapers doing some really beautiful kind of beach colours. And I was a bit like, do you know what? That's really appealing to me. So in my jug here, I've got my oils, my base oils, and I've just added the lye into it. I'm going to do this quick whiz here and get this into an emulsion and hopefully just at a very light trace, because we need to work with this a little bit to get the colours sorted. So this is a very good example of why you should not fill your jugs up to the very, very top. See, I've just spilt a load of batter over there and it's just looking a complete and utter mess. So when you're doing this, try not to fill your soap jugs up too much. But we've got a nice emulsion there. I can't see any breaking up of the soap. It's looking very nice and smooth, nice and fluid. So we're going to go with that one. Let's give this a quick scrape down. And try and get as much of the soap that I've spilt in that's still in the jug. And we'll have a little tidy up as well in a second. So I'm going to divide the batter out in between 4 different jugs. Now you'll see on the jug there that I've got a number written on the top of the handle. That's actually the weight of the jug with nothing in it. That's just the weight of the jug. What it means is I can pop this onto the scales and I can essentially take off the weight of the jug so I know exactly how much soap I've got in the jug and then how to divide that out equally between my 4 jugs. So that's just over 1 kilo of soap batter there. And I know that my jug is 58.7 grams. So it's going to be about 140 grams. And it works out about 260 grams per jug. So it's really nice and quick and easy to be able to work out how much batter you've got if you mark all your jugs up. So if I get any new jugs, give them away, and then I add the weight to them. So here we have gold mica. Gold mica makes a wonderful sand colour, and it's just been dispersed in a little bit of light oil. And what we're going to do is add all of the amount of soap that I want in this jug, give it a quick stir, and then I'm also going to add a little bit of a exfoliator and something for the aesthetic of the sand of a beach theme. So I've got some pre-used and then dried coffee grinds. And what I do with that is basically, we have a coffee machine at home. I take the grinds, I basically break it all up, pop it into the oven, allow that just to dry off, and then I bring it. It just means that it doesn't get moldy and horrible. It can be kept in a container for a little while, and they work really well. So in the next one here, we've got some blue, fluorescent blue mica, and also a touch of ice blue mica, just to knock the fluorescence back. But I want a really kind of like blue sea. I'm not trying to go for appropriately coloured to life. I'm just trying to go for something that looks fresh and interesting. So our third colour here is iridescent green mixed with some of that ice blue mica. And it gives you this kind of really beautiful kind of tealy blue, that kind of azure blue that you'd find in like the Mediterranean and places like that. And I wanted that kind of colour there. And the final colour is going to be white. Now I have got one little pot of like a kind of greeny blue. And I'm going to possibly pour off a little bit of the white batter into that one to create a 4th colour, just kind of right at the beginning of the soap. So what we'll do is now I'm going to measure this right out of this jug into these jugs, and then we're going to get a better pouring jug for me to pour these all into. So with the One Pot Wonder Swirl, what you've got to do is essentially make all your colours up in various different pots, or if you want to, you can use paper cups or things like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pour all of those colours back into a single pot, and then pour your soap with that one pot. So it's just one pour with all of these colours in it. And it's really quick, really simple, really easy. But again, it does need a batter that is going to not trace too quickly and allow you a bit of time to work. So here we go. Here's our gold mica, and you can see that's kind of created like an orangey sandy colour. And when it goes through saponification, my batter will lighten So that's probably going to be quite a nice sand colour. And then what we'll do is we'll pop in a teaspoon. That's all I've used in this, is a teaspoon of these coffee grinds. So you can see a little goes a long way with this one. And there we have our sand colour. Now, as we mix this in, you'll just see that it gives you these little flecks running through it and some interest in this particular part of the soap. The coffee may impart a little bit of colour into there as well. So it's worthwhile noting that you should really choose a fragrance that's going to work with coffee. So for this one, I'd mixed it into the oils beforehand because I knew it was going to be okay. And it's just a very simple kind of orange essential oil. It's a 5-fold essential oil. I like it. These are for us to use in the shower, and it goes quite well with the coffee as well. So that's quite cool. So here is our azure blue, this kind of tealy, bluey green. That's almost breakfast at Tiffany blue. It's beautiful. It actually looks so good in the soap. So I'm really pleased with that colour. And again, all of these have been dispersed with oil, and then when the batter is poured in, they're just easily stirred through. Fluorescent blue is notorious for specking, as are any of the fluorescents. So you need to make sure that is particularly well dispersed before you mix it in. But as you can see here, I'm not getting any specks, I'm not getting any of that. I've just made sure that that is fully dispersed and there are no clumps or anything holding together that could potentially cause me some problems. And last but not least, here is my white. Titanium dioxide I've used in this one, and I disperse it in some water. Now, people say, oh, well, it makes my batter speed up, or I don't really find too much of a problem with titanium dioxide. I don't use a great deal, but I wanted kind of like the waves to be really kind of white against that blue and that green. So I did use I think it was about 3 grams of titanium dioxide in this 260 grams of soap, dispersed 3 parts water to 1 part titanium dioxide. So I know that if I put titanium dioxide in, I've got to account for the water and all of that in my assessments if I was going to have this soap assessed. Now here are our little sludge green, but I kind of quite liked him. And then as you see here, as it comes up, you'll see that it's got that little iridescence to it. So this is known as ocean blue, but it has this greeny colour to it. But through saponification, it may change a little bit as well. So you get this kind of like mill pond green sort of colour. I think it's going to work really nicely where it is in the soap, and it's just going to flow through and striate quite nicely. And here we are ready to create this one pot wonder, and it's all done in one pot. So what we're going to do is pour all of these soaps into this jug, and we're going to pour them down the side and nice and carefully, so we get this really beautiful kind of striations through the soap. I'm going to scrape a little bit out, but not too much, because I'm probably going to do a little bit of a design on the top, but I'm not decided yet. So we'll have a little look and see. Now, whatever goes in first is going to come out last, and whatever goes in last is going to come out first. So you need to bear that in mind when you're pouring your soap. A little bit of white in there for the kind of spray of the sand of the ocean coming onto the sand. Now, this is not going to create a layered soap, but it's going to just give you all of these colours moving through the soap. So I wanted to kind of give this idea that the blue had waves around it. Now, I'm going to actually pour this white in quite fast and quite deep, because I want that to kind of sit and come through higgledy-piggledy. And then we're going to put our beautiful azure blue in. Our azure blue in. There we go, there's our little kind of green pot. And again, I'm letting a little bit of that fall under the surface. And as for the pour, it's very simple. You just pour backwards and forwards in your mould. And you can see how all the colours kind of come out and through into the mould. And you get this beautiful patination through the soap. That's my blue and my green. That's my sea colours coming through there. And then as we move through a little bit further, you'll see that the sand starts to kick in, but it wasn't in that initial pour. You get all of these beautiful colours coming together. Now I need to stop just here and then move my mold so it moves up a little bit, but not too fast. I don't want to slide all of these. I want to keep everything nice. And then we'll pour the rest of the soap in. Doing backwards and forwards. I'm going to keep the same speed, and then pull it up a little bit further and add the last little bits of soap in here. Got a nice lot of the kind of gold and coffee grinds on the top there, and then we're going to stop just there and let this come fully up. Last tiny little bit. And that's the end of our pour, really. Now, unfortunately, because technology is what it is, one of my memory cards got corrupted with the cut on it. So we're going to go straight to the bars here. And you can see here the final bar with all those beautiful striations running through it. And you can see how that gold mica has actually created this really beautiful, sandy, textured soap at the top there, flowing through into the whites and the blues and the greens and the azures. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me grow and allows me to make more videos and tutorials for all of you. When you subscribe, don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified of when a new video is uploaded. And thanks a lot, Soapsters. I'll see you again next time.